So today we're going to talk about how to elegantly, keyword, see if your local coin shop is genuine or not. So first of all, what you probably shouldn't do is stroll into your local coin store or your local dealer and start accusing them of selling fake coins, for example. So you would probably want to do it in a bit more of an elegant way, so you're not going to upset them straight away from the word go. So first of all, what I wouldn't do is go in there with a magnet or go in there with my own scales and start weighing the coins, anything like that. I'd probably just, if it was an in-person coin shop, I'd probably go in and visit them if I could. If not, maybe you're speaking to them on the phone, and all I would do is just say that I'm relatively new to coin collecting or stacking silver or stacking gold. Maybe you've bought a few coins already, maybe you've not, but you haven't really sold any. So what you could do is just say to them, look, I understand the buying process. I can obviously see a coin in your shop or on your website, and I can, come in with the money and pay for it. But what about if I need to sell in the future, or if I want to take some profit? You could ask them, what happens then? So they'll probably explain to you then that they buy at competitive prices. They might quote, at the moment we would pay so much over spot or this much under spot or whatever that might be. And they might then tell you a little bit about, how they test coins, but maybe they won't. So if they don't say anything, too obvious about how they would test coins, you could then ask a further question and say, well, obviously if I buy some coins from you, you'll know, what they are, but what if I buy some coins from, another dealer, or if I end up just, buying some on the second-hand market, can you check them for me, or do you just take, whatever I come in with? And they'll probably then say, well, oh no, obviously, look, we have a process where we'll test coins. They might say that they'll weigh them. They might say how many years of experience, things like that. They could say, many different things. Now, some of them might mention some of their fancy machines that they have and bits of kit like an XRF machine. So that's letter X and then letter R and then F. I can't remember what that stands for, but they're a pretty expensive bit of kit. Your average gold stacker, in the community isn't going to have one of those, but for a coin shop or a serious dealer, it's probably a bit of kit that they will have invested in. And what that does is it's a non-invasive way of checking the content of a coin. So by non-invasive, I mean it's not going to damage the coin, it's not going to scratch it, it's not going to drill a hole in it, for example, and things like that. So there are also things like the Sigma metalytics, which some people have, and they're a bit more affordable. You might pay around about £1,000, just over $1,000, and be able to get one of those. And they are something that, some stackers do have, and it's not totally uncommon for, so they might mention those as well. And there's various sort of standards of those, there's various models, if you like, for testing different things. So one of the most local coin dealers to me, he has, both of these bits of kit and some other things. If he's testing jewellery, he obviously has acid tests and things like that, which they're more for scrap. So you don't want to go and take, a nice sovereign and start putting a scratch in it and acid testing and things, because then you're just damaging the coin and it's going to lose any value that it had, more than its scrap price. So for that reason, you want to really be testing in a non-invasive way, okay? So I have this little sovereign scale in the background. It is more just for show, it's not really a serious testing implement, if you like, although it does work, and back in the day these were used quite widely. I was more just buying it for the interest and just for the collection, really. So beyond that, they might have told you about a bit of equipment that they have, and if not, you could perhaps have another follow-up question just saying, is there any equipment that they would recommend you could buy for at home, and what you could use to test your metals and things like that. And they're probably going to mention a set of scales, maybe some calipers to measure things like the diameter and thickness and things like that. So from there, if they've still not mentioned any testing equipment, it doesn't mean that they're not necessarily a genuine dealer. They might have access to them, but maybe not in their own. You could just, if there's a machine on the desk, you could ask, oh, what's that there? Talk about it. And by now, though, they probably will have told you something that they use, some sort of method. And you could just say, well, do you mind showing me on a coin? I'm just really interested. And it's quite new to me. And, just go across as an interested buyer, really. So if you are in there and you've no interest in buying coins at all, then maybe not great to take up a lot of time of the coin shop if they're busy. But you could maybe go in at a quieter time, or if you are genuinely looking to start stacking and start buying, then it is good to support these local dealers, local coin shops, because if you need to sell in a hurry in the future, these are the places that you can drop into, and they'll be, the first port of call, really, when you come to sell quickly. So, yes, you might get more money on the second-hand market, selling to, other individuals, peer-to-peer. But it is good if you do have that option of a local store and someone you can just keep buying from regularly over time. So I do try to use some smaller dealers, when I can. And, partly because I know I'm getting genuine coins, but also it is just good to support these, smaller dealers, really, because if the smaller dealers aren't there, they can offer sometimes more competitive premiums, because they can undercut the bigger dealers that have, maybe a high street store, or, a big premises, lots of staff and security and things like this, which all cost money. So, they do need to obviously keep the lights on, and the more dealers we have, the more places we have to buy from, the better, really, as stackers, because it makes the marketplace more competitive and just gives us more choice, really, when we come to sell as well. So unless you're buying and selling, large volumes, you're probably not going to build up like a friendly rapport with the bigger dealers, because, you're just dealing with perhaps a website or maybe someone on the end of the phone, and, maybe you are going in there, maybe they do have a storefront. But, these smaller dealers, if you can be buying from them regularly, they'll often be willing to do you a bit of a favour, when the time comes, because, you've given them good business over a period of time. And like anything, it's, what's the word? Reciprocal, is that the word? Someone might be willing to help you out when you've, been a good customer, and, just look after their business. So, like I say, I wouldn't walk in with a magnet and start, asking to acid test the coins that you're about to buy or anything like that. But those are some questions that will get you started, and a little bit more elegant than, just going in and saying, yeah, all right, mate, what's this? How do I know it's not fake? And also another thing, some dealers might have a collection of fake coins that have been brought in, and, maybe just to put in a display. So you could also ask to have a look at some of those, and they could just show you, some fakes compared to some genuine coins. And also it's a good learning experience. So really good to do if you're new to stacking, and even if you're not necessarily that new, but, you fancy a bit of a day out, could be a good option. So hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know if I missed anything, and what do you think? Talk to you soon.